latitude as St. Petersburg and the southern tip of Greenland, but we don't have the same extremes of temperature. The sea acts like a big storage heater around us. So in the winter our average temperature is 5 degrees and in the summer it's 16 degrees. He was getting out of a van and he opened the door disappeared and left him holding the door handle. And the peat was used to be used in every house to heat the houses, but now we all use electricity or oil. And whilst he worked for the Hudson Bay Company, he mapped most of the Canadian Arctic. One of our writers, George Mackay Brown, he was in his 20s before he tasted alcohol. And these cattle on the left-hand side, they are part of a dairy herd. Oh, we're just heading towards our second town, Stromness, primary school. And we have just over 3,000 school children here in Orkney, and they go to primary schools until they're 12 years old. Nurse or computing, you can do degree courses here, and if you wanted to do archaeology, you could do introduction to archaeology right the way through to a PhD. End of Stennis Loch and the fields at the other side of the loch there. Earlier on this year I went field walking, so after the farmers had ploughed the fields and before they'd sown the crops, we went walking over them looking for archaeological evidence. We have many trees, but Orkney is built on sandstone, so we have a lot of walls that are made out of stone. And as we turn the corner, you'll see the tidal island, the Broch of Bursay. So on the tidal island, the Broch of Bursay, there's a lighthouse built by an engineering family, and they had a nephew who didn't want to be an engineer, and they were a little bit disappointed with him. He was actually Robert Louis Stevenson, the writer, who wrote Kidnapped. And it was the Stevenson family who built the lighthouses. Where the body of St. Magnus was brought after he was killed and before the cathedral was built. 2 winters ago the count was over 60,000, and 5 geese can eat the equivalent amount of grass as 1 sheep. This was important to the Neolithic people, and it was still important to the Bronze Age people 1700 years later, and it's still important to people today. And 5 years ago my nephew came here and got married. And the Orkney stones, these stones from different areas of Orkney, so they perhaps brought their own stone with them and dug their own bit of ditch, because the ditch is a bit sausage shaped, so they probably dug their own bit of ditch and then knocked through. And when the stones were erected, they were all put up with the shiny cut side outwards, all except for 1 stone, and that would be the stone that my family put up. And I just thought, they'll never notice that in 5,000 years. They used to believe it circled around, and it's also called the fiddler stone. Archaeological dig that happens for 8 weeks during the year, and when they're finished they put polythene over and they cover it with tyres to protect it until next year.
Okay, Jade? Huh?
Coming down! I'll be fine. I'll be there.
Oh, gee, I wonder how.
Your daughter's seen the pictures.
Monumental sculptures.
Religious liberty. Where would you like me to take your photograph?
I gave my mum to the
You'd have to consider both sides of the issue.
It's just been dragged up.